I told you not to click on today's video. And the reason why is because I need to stop. I need to take a step back and make sure I am ready for the rest of the week. Jerome Powell talks tomorrow, but man, this market is moving fast. AMC plus 78%, nearly 19% in after hours. GME plus 74%, and also going higher in after hours. But that is not the market moving event for the week for the S&P. It's going to be on Wednesday, the 15th, when we get our highest implied volatility move. And this is where it's interesting. Headline CPI is going to come down from 3.5 to 3.4, but the month over month is not good. And the core is only going down to 0.3. So now I want to play a quick clip from the Fed because I want you to see what Fed officials are saying to see how we should interpret this data for tomorrow. All right, let's listen in.
For me, it's really looking at the totality of the data, not just looking at an employment report or a CPI or other piece of information. You really want to make sure we're looking at the broad picture. We have.
All right, that's it for this clip. Let's play the next one. All right, here we go. We got the next Fed official coming up.
There isn't, at this time, much evidence, in my view, that inflation is stalling out at 3%.
All right, that's it. So that's like about a 20-second clip there between both. But what this really means is that Fed officials are saying that it's the totality of the data, as Jerome Powell's saying. And Goolsby here is saying, hey, we're not seeing anything stall out at 3%. Well, I think this is a stall out here. Why? When 0.4 compounds, that's nearly 5%. So again, the Fed talks about core PCE, but the market's focused on CPI, as we just showed you here. The next big event is NVIDIA, which is going to come out on the 23rd. So what's going to happen? Is Jerome Powell going to move the market? Are we going to see something hot on PPI? Is it going to surprise? And really, what happens on Wednesday? There's a lot leading up into that event on Wednesday. Let's go through. Why? Look where we were a month ago on the S&P. Look where we are now. Look where we were a month ago on the NASDAQ. Look where we are now. We're either at or higher than where we were. Fear and greed is now back here almost, it is exactly at 50, but it's not close to where we were a month ago. We were at 62. We're still missing more than 10 points. We're only in neutral, only in the middle. And this matters because, man, the market is getting excited today. Meme stocks are hot. Bitcoin's higher. Even the Russell caught a bit. So where's the fear and greed? 3 points higher, 2 points higher is nice, but is it really enough? Or is this just a big bounce before they sell it? I don't know, but like 78%, 74%, we can't ignore that. The hype is there. But we need greed to kick in. Why? Well, because tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, Google's going to be giving a developers conference on AI, right? Developers conference with AI. Whoa, they really want to get this thing going here, right? Blink and you'll miss it. Google I/O is coming next week. Boom. So AI, the Pixel as an AI agent. They got a whole bunch of AI stuff in here. So is AI still going to deliver that sizzle that we've had in the past? Remember, TSMC told us that sales jumped 60% on sustained demand for AI chips. Stanley Druckenmiller did say that AI might be a little bit overhyped in the short term, though. Here's another headline. This is from the 10th. It's recent. Apple nears deal with OpenAI to put ChatGPT on the phone. They want to add more AI features to Apple devices. Okay, so there should be some hype here with Google tomorrow. And man, look at these numbers here. Self-driving startup Waze just raised $1 billion from NVIDIA, SoftBank, Microsoft, and more. Whoa, seems like money's still going burr over for AI. XAI nears $6 billion raise at 18 valuation. Mistral nearly $600 million raise. Cyber startup raises $1 billion as well. Whoa, there's like billions still being raised here. Yes, there is. Just before we go further, I'm going to ask you for a huge favor. If you could please consider smashing that thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. Thank you ahead of time. And like I said, I know today's video might be a little bit different, but frankly, I was just curious on who was going to, oh, look at that beautiful Sweden background. I was curious on if you were going to click on the video, and I'm having a hard time coming up with a very clickable title for every video when the market's boring at the surface level, which is what we focus on. And frankly, I just wanted to see what would happen. So thank you for clicking on the video, right? And let's see what we got here for the rest of the week. So I think as we're setting up here, what this really means is that I'm expecting, I'll show you right now in the charts, I'm expecting, this is what I expect. I expect that if we're really going to go to new all-time highs, which is only 1% or less for the S&P and 2% for the NASDAQ, We have Google, we got OpenAI, we got Powell, we got all this AI jazz. That should be able to just drag us higher. And what I'm looking for specifically for the S&P is for us to clear this area. Why? Well, because then if, again, I just showed you, William said the totality of the data, right? Don't look at just one CPI print. But when we get a number of CPI prints coming in hot, and the Fed officials are saying we're not seeing a stall out at 3, if we see evidence that's happening now, here's what I would expect. Boop, a sell. So if we don't make it up higher, that's going to be a double top. We've already talked about this enough that you shouldn't be too surprised about when I say this. So if we now go here, where are we? We're right here at the monthly high. High, lower high, lower high. Pay close attention here. What's the high? We're looking at the number right here. 546, 524.61, 524.38. Oh, so we got like really close. Then we dropped by 5%. Yes, that's exactly it. We got so close, but failed to get over. Then we tanked by 5%. Where are we now? We got 524.38, 522.67. We're within $2. We're within 1%. If we can't squeeze over there, I don't like that, because there's always going to be things to worry about. And now we got this to worry about. A $600 billion wall of debt looms over small caps. So small caps did catch a bid today when we saw the meme stocks running. And I'll touch on that a little bit later. But like I said, I want to see us get over, because if and when the next thing to worry about comes, there's always going to be things that take the market down. And we've had a lot of winning days in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in a row. Is it going to be 9? Is it going to be 50? At some point, we are going to get a red day. So when it comes, is it going to form a double top and then we go lower to back test that 50 MA, then decide to go lower? Or can the bulls power us up, get greedy, and we go to new highs? It's really important. All right. And like I said, if these numbers come in at 0.4, I don't interpret this as bullish. I read this as we're getting a stall out on inflation going lower. That's how I read it. 3.5 to 3.4, but numbers going up higher, that does not get me excited. And I see a little bit of over exuberance in the market, right back at 50, which means we're a little bit, right, we're getting some traction here, but maybe it's not enough. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What about the other side of the story? Well, here we go. Small caps. So the Russell 2000 specifically, we have one of the biggest short positions on record. Whoa. Firms in the small cap Russell hold a total of $832 billion of debt, 75% of which needs to be refinanced through 2029. So what does that mean? Means if we stay higher for longer, and Jerome Powell's over here saying, hey, stronger for longer, higher for longer, these companies are going to have a really hard time. And that's why they've been struggling. But as we saw that meme stock boom today, the Russell was actually up by 1% on the day. It was up by 3 times as much as the S&P and the NASDAQ. Why? Hey, because these are jokes. They're memes. And again, memes mean that these companies don't make money. There's $600 billion here they got to renegotiate. Let's go look over here to AMC. Why? Because these are jokes. And in the past, we have seen these stocks ramp just before the entire market goes down. Yesterday, meaning on Friday, the stock was worth $3, and their EPS is negative 130, which means every 12 months, they lose half the company's value as of Friday's close. So why is this one up more, right? This one's up more than GME when it was not the stock that was in focus. It's a smaller market cap. They lose money. So it's a joke. It's a meme, right? It's a meme. We look over here to GME. Hey, it's still doing just fine. 74% in one day. It's not up as much on the day, not as much in after hours. It's bigger. It's worth $9 billion. But look here, they actually make a little bit of money, 800 PE. So this one's not as big of a joke, and it didn't get as much of a bid. Here's the interesting part, though. So on these ones here, we have hollow candles. They actually went higher. AMC and GME both closed higher than they opened. You can see that here. But what happened to the Russell? The one where there's a lot of debt. Similar issue to AMC. Well, we closed lower. Oh, so it was just a sell-off. Yeah, it was just a sell-off. Inside bar, what did we do? Got really close to resistance, and you sell it. That's what happened. So I really want to see whether the bulls can actually power up to get us not just to the targets for both, but higher. So we have room to back test, right? Back test that 50 MA, back test this area as well. There's a few more charts I want to look at here. So what else did I want to show? We got through that. We got through this. We got through that one. I think it really comes down to this chart right here next. So we got the S&P, and I got this green line snapped here at 512.55. And the reason why is because It now almost perfectly corresponds with our 50 EMA. But as I also said, we have a gap on the weekly chart. And what do we have here? It's the same theme I showed you on that monthly chart. Get really close to the previous candle high, but fail to crack it. 52264, again, looking right up here for the H, 52267. So we actually got over it by 3 cents, and then we failed to hold it. Technically a failed break. So if we don't go back up higher, that's a failed break, and I would be looking for a gap fill here back to 51255. So if we slam down this week, that's what I'm looking for. That CPI could be the driver, and I went through that on the weekend video. So now we're just going to go through a couple more quick charts here. So S&P, right? We talked about that one. Let's go back to the daily chart here. So on the daily, it's either going to hit new all-time highs, or we're going to get a back test of the 50. We can see the reaction to either of these. If we hit them, do we bounce? Do we sell? Do we go higher? That's all we can do, right? Plan the work and work the plan. Same thing for the NASDAQ, but it's a little bit further off actually getting here. Tech lead SPY is what's supposed to happen. So why is it not leading right now? I don't know. The dollar's down a little bit. That's okay. But VIX is up by 8. That catches my attention. Something's funky here, right? It's still in the low teens or 13. But something tells me that there's something brewing here. Next thing I'm looking at here is the 10-year note, which we've already noted is awfully bullish, right? Golden cross. It's over the averages. And then finally, Bitcoin's doing what I would expect it to, but it still can't get above its 50 EMA. And 2% is nice, but it's been a pretty good sell lately too. Ether is not as much either, not up as much either. If we look to the mags, they're so close to getting to new all-time highs. They made a new all-time high on Tuesday of last week, but now they got to recapture it. Are they going to do it? Is Google going to drag them higher? ChatGPT did not really announce very much today. There was supposed to be a competitor for Google, but gap down, pump up, baby, right? Actually closed green here. So Google actually was able to stave off ChatGPT for now. And then if we go across these different ETFs here, RSP red, right? Down in after hours. Okay. We got the Dow, right? Looking like it's a little bit red today. SMH down. XLV down. Financials down. XLK is going to be mega caps. I like looking at megs lately for that. The Russell sold off most of its move. And the only other really thing catching a bid here is Kathy, the meme, right? The joke. Why? Man, this chart's so crap, so terrible. Look, it can't rally, right? Gets up to resistance and just sells off. I don't understand it. So this looks like another joke to me. And then otherwise, China's rallying because they've said they're going to be issuing some bonds to support the market. And that seems a little bit happy. Now they got a gap on their weekly chart. So today's video is a little bit different. I would love it if you left me a comment, and otherwise watch the video on the left or subscribe and hang out with me at 9:15 and 9:30 a.m. tomorrow. Thank you very much for tuning in.